Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Gina Louise. Please say hello in the comments below and tell me where you're from. Today's DIY is going to be a back to school teacher gift. I hope that I inspire you today to make a beautiful wreath for back to school to either hang on your front door or for a beautiful gift for a teacher. And without further ado, let's get crafting. For this DIY, we're going to use 2.5 boxes of crayons from the Dollar Tree, some number 2 pencils, and some scissors. We're just going to use a bunch of school supplies. And we're going to take a piece of cardboard or foam core, and we're going to just draw a big circle, and we're going to cut it out. Now we're just going to find the center, and we're going to make a circle that leaves the width of this wreath the size of the crayons. If you're a little off on your circle, it's okay because you can trim it up later, but just find the center. I like to take a push pin and a piece of ribbon and just push the pin in the center of your cardboard and then measure out how long the crayon is, because remember, you want to make the width of this the length of a crayon. So then you're just going to attach a pen or a pencil to the ribbon and you're just going to draw a circle. Don't worry if it's uneven, because after you hot glue all the crayons on, you'll be able to trim out the wreath and make it a little bit straighter, because mine was a little off center, but I was able to fix it by just measuring the crayons on both sides. Now you're just going to hot glue your crayons all the way around the wreath. I found it to be easier and that it comes out so much straighter if you glue the crayons facing you to be straight, completely straight, and just move the wreath around instead of just hot gluing the crayons and following around the wreath. I just kept moving the wreath so that the next crayon I put on was completely straight when I looked at it. And that was the best way to get this to come out to be a nice round circle. Now don't worry if you have an extra piece of cardboard here like I do, because all you're going to do is take your X-Acto knife or your scissors and you're just going to trim it to meet the back of the crayons. Now you're going to flip the wreath over and you're just going to hot glue large popsicle sticks in a random pattern all over the back to create a nice, strong, stable wreath. Now we're going to make what I like to call my Crayola crayon ribbon. And I'm just going to grab a bunch of random primary color ribbon, and I'm going to put them together in the Olivia bow style. And if you don't know how to make an Olivia bow, I'll put the link down to her channel below. She shows a very easy way to make a very pretty bow, and that's what I'm going to do. So I have these ribbons, which is the closest to primary colors, which reminds me of crayons. I have some red, I have blue, I have purple, and I'm using some of the pretty burlap ribbon. And what you do is, I'll try to explain this. You just take the ribbon and you keep folding it over. You go to that end, see how I'm doing that? Then you fold it over. You go to the other end and you fold it over. You could do that 4 to 6 times. And then you're just going to keep doing that with each ribbon. Now you're going to grab the next color and you're going to put it on top of this one. And you're going to do the same thing, but every time you do it, you're going to make each one shorter. Now I'm taking the center. I'm finding the center of my ribbon. I left a little overhang there and it's a curly Q, which is annoying me. But I'm going to find my center and I'm going to just snip it a little bit. But don't cut this all the way to the center. Don't cut through your ribbon. You're just going to make 2 snips, one on each side, close to the center, so that you can take a pipe cleaner, put it through the center, and twist it around, and that's going to help you be able to maneuver these little loops into a bow. And then when you do the other colors on top of this, you're going to be able to also twist those in with the tie twist. Okay, it definitely helps when you're using ribbon that doesn't have a wire end. So now I'm using my second color, like I just said before. I'm doing the same exact thing, but I'm making this one shorter than the red one, because you want each layer to be shorter, a little smaller, so that when you pull them apart, it gives that whole ribbon effect. Okay, so I'm doing the same thing here. I'm going to tie twisty that nice and tight in the middle. And this has wire in the ribbon, so it's a little easier to maneuver. And I know Olivia, when she shows it, she actually puts the snips in the wire one too, but I try not to do that because if I want to reuse the ribbon, I got cuts in it, so I didn't do it to the wire one. So now I'm using the purple. It's not my favorite kind of ribbon to use. It's just this like yucky satin ribbon used on packages. Well, I guess you can use them all on packages. But anyway, doing the same thing with the lavender purple one. And I'm going to put this, tie it with the tie twisty into the center of the polka dot burlap one. And I'm just going to keep doing that with each one smaller and smaller. And I'm going to top it off with that cute little vintage like lacy looking ribbon. Now just play with it and pull the little loops out all over, twist them around until you get a nice, pretty, fluffy bow. Now take all the little ends and ducktail them. You're just going to fold them in half down the middle, and you're just going to cut upward from the point, and then they're going to make all these pretty little ducktail ends to make it look like a very high-end boutique looking bow. Now I'm adding some number 2 pencils inside my cute little crayon looking bow. I like to call the Crayola crayon bow when it has all these primary colors. So yeah, I'm just taking the twisty, the pipe cleaner, and I'm just twisting some pencils in the middle because I want this to be like a school teacher wreath with all little things that a teacher would use in the classroom. So I'm going to add my bow to the wreath, and then I'm going to add things. Look how cute that is. And then I'm going to add things that a teacher uses in the classroom. I'm going to hot glue some rulers on here, and I'm going to attach my bow to the rulers because the rulers are kind of big, I think, for this wreath. But I figured if I glued them on and then I put the big bow on top of them, and just like the ends are sticking out, it would look like it's part of the bow. And I'm also going to add scissors and glue sticks and all things that a teacher would put in her classroom. Now I'm adding this cute little blackboard that I got from the Dollar Tree. It's made to stand up like a tabletop frame, so it has this little wood piece in the back that would help it stand up, but I don't want that because it's going to make it too bulky. So I'm just ripping that off so that I can hot glue the blackboard to the crayon wreath. It actually came off pretty easy without damaging the blackboard. Now I'm going to hot glue the blackboard to the crayon wreath to put a little message on here. If you're making this for a teacher, I think it would be cute if you wrote in chalk the teacher's name. Or if you are a teacher and you're making this for your classroom, I think it'd be cute to say welcome students, or just put your name on it. Of course, this is just to inspire you, and hopefully you create your own wreath for a teacher for the classroom. And I just decided I was going to use my chalk pen to look like it is written in chalk, but I wrote best teacher as a gift for a teacher. Now I'm just going to embellish it a little more with some more back to school items. Now I'm going to secure the ribbon by using another pipe cleaner to just kind of wrap it, push it through the ribbon, the bow, and then I'm going to wrap it around the wreath. I added a little dab of hot glue on the back of the bow, but I accidentally cut it out. So, because you're going to see me pressing it down here, that's because there's a little hot glue there. And then, you know, you're going to play with the bow, and you're going to fluff up those little loops and play with it. And you can play with it as much as you want until you get it pretty and just the way you like it. And then I flip over the wreath, and I twist the pipe cleaner around the back, and I secure it with hot glue on the back as well. Now I'm just going to write a little message on the chalkboard with my chalk paint to make it look like I actually used a piece of chalk. You could write anything you want, just like I mentioned previously, but I just decided to write best teacher, and I thought this would be such a cute gift for a teacher. Now I'm thickening up the letters just to give it a little more pop. You can always look at a font from your computer to give you an idea of how to create this. And here are the final results. I think this came out so stinking cute, and I think any teacher would love to have this hanging up in their classroom. And I also think it would look adorable on your front door for back to school time, as long as the sun isn't hitting it all day and melting your crayons. This is the first time I did a video without adding music. What do you think? Do you like it when it's silent during the creative process, or do you enjoy having music in the background? Leave a comment below. I'm so curious. And I hope I've inspired you to create a beautiful, fun back-to-school wreath for a school teacher or yourself. Thanks for watching.